Hi BookTube, this is Kelly. Thank you so much for watching my channel, Books I'm Not Reading. I'm filming this at night. My speech is not as clear as I would like it to be, but I really have to make this video because it's weighing on me. And this is a spoiler-free review of Toni Morrison's Pulitzer Prize winning novel, Beloved. This is part of my Pulitzer Prize Reread challenge. I read this back in November with Gina from Gina Stand Your Books. And so if you'd like to know more about the Pulitzer Prize Reread challenge, I will connect to that video down below. I've also listed 2 book reviews that I found very interesting. They do contain spoilers. One is from Run Right Reads, and the other one is from One Bookish Islander. So if you're not bothered by spoilers, or if you've already read Beloved, I would encourage you to check out these excellent reviews. My hope with this video is to persuade you to read Beloved. Regardless of what awards the book earned or whatever controversy surrounds it at times, Beloved is a classic and an extremely important part of American literature. I first read Beloved in a terrible class my freshman year of college. I thought Toni Morrison wasn't for me, and I don't think I fully understood the book, no thanks to a dreadful teacher. Time, though, has helped me to grow as a reader, and this time around was a very different experience. So different that, as you can tell, I'm using a script for this video, which is highly unusual for me. Jason has helped edit the script, so thank you to Jason at Old Blues Chapter and Verse. But even he thinks I'm being too cautious and too careful in this review. Beloved starts after the Civil War has ended, but Morrison pulls the reader back and forth in time with different characters and relating to the horrors of their past. Setha and her 18-year-old daughter Denver are living on the outskirts of Cincinnati in essentially a haunted house. And when I posted my TBR video that included this, someone described this as a horror novel, and I actually kind of agree with that. It's a very literary horror novel, but nonetheless. From the very beginning of the book, we are told that the house is haunted by a baby, and the ghost of that baby is very angry. The ghost has driven away Setha's 2 sons. Setha hasn't seen her husband since she escaped from the Sweet Home plantation in Kentucky, where she was treated more like an animal than a human being. At the start of the novel, one of the men from Sweet Home finds Setha. Paul D has had his own experiences of escaping slavery. When Setha explains why they don't have people over because of this haunting, this ghost, Paul D essentially, it's almost like an exorcism of the ghost from the house. And shortly after they go on an outing, the 3 of them, Paul D, Setha, and Denver go on an outing, and they come home and there's a young woman waiting on their doorstep. And this is the catalyst for the story that blends history with the supernatural. Both Setha and Paul D's stories show us what happens when one race believes itself to be superior to another, and our nation let it go on for generations. Though both characters are, quote, free, their pasts and memories have left physical, mental, and emotional scars. As a reader, I rarely stop to think about what life was like for former slaves once freed. At one part in the novel, Setha mentions that she doesn't know how to read the clock, but she knew that when the 2 hands were praying, her work was over. Morrison's prose is, of course, masterful. What struck me most is her way of blending the supernatural or magical realism in stark contrast with the horrors of slavery. It's as if Morrison is asking us, what is the harder thing to believe? Is it harder to believe that there's a haunted house or a ghost, or that our country had a system that treated other people as property and felt free to do whatever it wanted to African Americans? Shouldn't we be more shocked by what a political system did than by the idea of a ghost or a poltergeist? Right? Really? I feel like Morrison is saying to us, it's slavery that shouldn't be the real thing. It's slavery that should have been made up, fictionalized, rather than these, again, supernatural, paranormal events that are taking place in the book. I have watched some YouTube reviews that tell people that the book could make readers squeamish or uncomfortable. But my point is that it is supposed to make you uncomfortable. Why should the treatment of people as less than human make us anything else? Morrison published Beloved in 1987 and dedicated it to the estimated 60 million Africans who were forced into slavery. Shortly after Beloved was published, Morrison said in an interview, "There is no place you or I can go to think about or not think about, to summon the presences of or recollect the absences of slaves. There is no suitable memorial or plaque or wreath or wall or park or skyscraper lobby. There is no 300-foot tower, and there's no small bench by the road. There is not even a tree scored an initial that I can visit or you can visit in Charleston, Savannah, or New York, or Providence, or better still, on the banks of the Mississippi. And because such a place doesn't exist, the book had to." The book was and is serving as a memorial. More recently, the Toni Morrison Society took that quote and they started putting benches in near places that had special significance to the rights of African Americans, to the memory of slaves. They have now more than 30 benches around the world, actually. And some of them are posts along the Underground Railroad, the home of Frederick Douglass. And the very first one was Sullivan's Island off the coast of South Carolina. And that was an African slave trade point of entry. So there's these little benches with a little plaque on them talking about the significance of that place in relationship to the slavery of Africans. I hope this little review will encourage you to add Beloved to your TBR for 2022. I certainly plan to read more of Morrison's work in the year ahead. If you read Beloved, please feel free to share some spoiler-free comments down below. BookTube, if anything, this book is another reminder of our great need to be kind to each other and to be kind to ourselves. So I'm thinking of all of you. Thank you for putting up with my scripted video. And yeah, I will visit with you soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.